Good morning, everyone. It's great to have you all here at the Cathedral Church in the Nativity. Today we have a very, very special treat. Rather than having our regular sermon, we have three of our young folks with us today to give a short reflections on their pilgrimage experience that they took, or that they had 2 weeks ago. So pilgrimages, there's usually at least three different elements that are important in pilgrimages. They're not just trips, they're not just vacations. One is that you go somewhere, so you get out of your context. Two, there's a sense of openness and trust and being open to new experiences, maybe even not knowing exactly what the schedule is going to be for that day, but trusting those who are leading you, trusting the process of the pilgrimage. And then the third aspect is reflection. Reflecting on where God is showing up in your own life and in the life of the world. And 2 weeks ago, we took a trip that definitely checked all of those boxes, plus a whole lot of fun. We took a trip, 7 youth, 3 adults, to both Boston and to a campground in New Hampshire, where we invited both the youth and the adult leaders to pay attention to where God was showing up in the world. Our theme was finding God in all places and in all things, finding God in ourselves, in our community, and in the experiences that we had. We had a whole lot of good experiences. There was a scavenger hunt where we went to historic places and religious sites all throughout the city. We visited the Boston Cathedral, the Boston Episcopal Cathedral. We went to the African American Museum of History there in Boston. We took a trip to Salem, Massachusetts to learn about the witch trials, to learn about what happens when we don't see God in each other. And then, of course, we also spent a few days camping, experiencing God in nature and in creation. And I'm very grateful to be part of that. Also very grateful to be part of this church that puts youth at the center. Not all churches do that, but this cathedral puts youth at the center and takes seriously God or Jesus's instructions to care for all of the family of God, and that includes children and youth and teens. So I'm going to invite Nick, Emily, and Abby to come on up to give their reflections on their time at pilgrimage.
Hi, I'm Nick. I'm one of the 7 people. So, in the trip, I saw God in the community that we made. I feel like the relationships that I had with everyone before and after the trip, it was night and day, obviously in a very good way. We all built this family with each other to the point where we had like countless inside jokes and like little keywords that mean a lot. And we built all that in like less than a week, and I think that is just crazy. And it's not even just the community that we built, but the community that we found. The first night we were at the hostel that we stayed at in Boston. A girl had put on a soccer game in the like public hangout area, and the soccer game was Argentina-Colombia. And we all decided to watch together. And we watched the whole game. It went to overtime, really long game actually. But we were being loud. We were like laughing, we were carrying on, and honestly, I thought we were kind of bothering her. But after a while, we started talking with her, having a conversation. We learned that she was there on vacation. We talked about soccer with her. And when the game was over and we started to leave, she said to us, "Thank you for watching with me." And I had to stop for a second because I genuinely thought that we were bothering her. But in reality, we had made a friend. And during the trip, there were so many little moments like that that reminded me how amazing God is, that he made us, that he made like people the way that we are. And this trip meant a lot when it came to that. And I will not forget that. Who's next? Yeah, Emily.
Hi, I'm Emily. And in this pilgrimage, I experienced God in a lot of different ways, including the nature that we saw, even in a big city setting. I felt that the nature always stood out to me, and I found God in that because God created all of these beautiful things for us to see, and it really just made me feel really connected. And I also felt connected with God when we visited all the different churches in Boston on our scavenger hunt, and we visited one in particular that I really enjoyed, and it had a labyrinth, and I felt that that was a really good experience for all of us to feel really connected with God in a different way that most of us had never experienced before. So I thought that was really cool. And I also felt connected to God in our reflection time that we were given every night, which was a space to be open with God and each other about our days. And I found that to be one of the best parts because we all really built a super tight community with each other. And we're all super comfortable, and we felt that we could really experience God together. Yeah, thank you.
Hi, I'm Abby. So throughout our trip to Boston and New Hampshire, we all shared so many special memories and moments with each other that created deeper relationships and friendships and connections with each other. A few specific experiences I really loved were exploring the city of Boston, spending time in nature, and taking time each evening to reflect on our day. I really enjoyed visiting the different churches in the area, and it made me happy to see how welcoming they were to the community. Reflection each night allowed us to talk about gratitude, our intentions, and praying for the people and world around us. It helped me to focus on things I don't always take the time to reflect on, as well as builds a deeper relationship with God. I experienced God a lot throughout the trip, specifically when I would focus on the people around me. I saw the good in everyone and saw light through people's words, actions, and expressions. A specific moment I really loved was during reflection in Quincy Market. I saw these kids playing in a water fountain, and they were laughing and running around, and they just had so much happiness in them. And that really caught my attention and helped me to see God's joy through them. Something I really learned about myself on this trip was how much I loved camping. This was my very first time camping in a tent, so it was a very different experience for me. So I was a little nervous going into it, but when we arrived to the camp, I felt more excited rather than scared. I loved spending time with everyone there and using the space and nature around us to have a good time in a different way than before. Overall, I really enjoyed this trip, and it created so many forever memories for me.
Let's give our pilgrims a hand for speaking with us. Thank you so much. I also have a written reflection from Aiden, who could not be here today, but he did want to share his thoughts. Aiden says this: during pilgrimage, I got to spend a whole week with my friends from youth group. I'm really glad that I was able to do this because I don't get to see them on a regular basis. Being with them for the week helped me deepen my connection with them and even form new friendships. Over the week, we learned about places and people and how they connect to our own life. For example, on our day trip to Salem, we learned about the Salem witch trials, something I hadn't known much about, and through reflection, connected these experiences to struggles people have today, such as the harm of not seeing God in people who are different from us. At the beginning and end of each day, we would read scripture, reflect, and use the lesson to go about our day in a meaningful and thoughtful way. I am so blessed that I was able to be part of the experience. So again, I want to thank you all for being a community, a place where youth are placed at the center. I also want to thank the youth. So one of the highlights for the trip for me is I'll just share one experience. During camping at one of the campfire nights, all the youth were talking about camp, our summer camp that we have. And they were talking about particularly the campers and telling stories. And you could see how much these young folks love and care for the kids that are younger than them, that are part of our Nativity youth camp. And I was reminded that these young folks, including Bella, who is also a counselor, but couldn't make it on the trip, are leaders in this community. That they do not simply receive ministry, but they give ministry, particularly at Nativity Youth Camp. So I'm appreciative to them for being leaders and for being part of this church and for showing us what it looks like to love one another. So thank you, thank you, thank you.